booth making noise, talking about pro wrestling on the podcast. Big up boys, big money guys, we be throwing down the rhymes, keeping it live, representing the Lone Star State every damn time.
We are back. Ring rundown. Hope everybody's having a great MLK day. How are you, Mr. SP?
Yo, I got one question before we get into this. Do you believe? Do you believe?
In Joe Hendry? Yes, I do.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Wave your hands
We have a brand new TNA World Heavyweight Champion in Joe Hendry. That is what's up. I called that last year, 2025.
I wish you would have told me. I wish you would have told me you would have done this, because I would have had a picture ready to take over the whole screen. Like, oh, he appeared. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's awesome. For as long as he's in TNA, you know, because I'm sorry, we know that dude's gonna move on to more.
Yeah. Well, see, you could, before we get this uploaded, you could add in the picture of Joe Hendry after I ask, do you believe? And then, yeah, wave your hands from side to side.
I can do that. I can do that.
Yes, all of us that are going to be at TNA weekend in San Antonio are going to get to see Joe Hendry walk out as TNA champion.
With the gold strap to him, baby.
Bing, 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 bing.
Long overdue. The guy, you know, he's worked hard, man. And he's got himself over like a genius.
I told you, 2025, he will be champion. Did I not say that?
Yeah, you did. And I mean, it's good because, like, you may disagree with this, but it's kind of been silent on him lately. You know what I'm saying? And this will give him that boost to put him back in the headlines. You know what I mean? So that would be good. Also, another person that you wanted to give a shout out to, a rest in peace to, is Mr. Bob Uecker.
Yeah. So, I mean, aside from being a baseball athlete himself, famous, you know, world famous baseball sportscaster, broadcast announcer, also infamous in the meme, the GIF, the picture of him being choked out by Andre the Giant, unfortunately passed away over the weekend. So RIP to Mr. Bob Uecker, WWE Hall of Famer, actor, baseball Hall of Famer, comedian all around as well too. Like I heard a story because they interviewed Bob Costas on the Today Show last week. So I'm sorry, my apologies. It was not over the weekend. It was towards the end of last week that he ultimately passed away. But he would have multiple conversations going on, doing different play-by-plays during a game. So that would be pretty hilarious. Like, he would have one conversation going on while he was announcing, cut the mic off, have his other side little play-by-play announcing going on with where he would crack his jokes, and then go back to broadcast.
That's some talent right there.
That man was very talented.
That's some talent.
He loved bringing in the passion to get people just to fall in love with the product, whatever it was that he was doing. So yes, RIP to a legend. And you know, I mean, I'm not a big sports guy, you know, so, but I do know this name and I do know his contributions, you know, not to the full extent, but still.
Yeah, so our condolences goes to him and his family, us from the Ring Rundown. Good vibes and prayers sent to the family and friends of Mr. Bob Uecker. All right.
Yes. Sorry. So to get off, we're just trying to stay as warm as we can, man. So
I have not been outside.
Freezing temperatures.
I have not been outside in 2 days. I refuse to go outside. My wife is currently mad at me because I won't go with her to the store later. I went to, incorrect. I did go to Walmart yesterday and I thought I was going to die. I cannot do this. I hate the cold weather. That's why I've moved back down south. Like, I don't even want to go. She's mad at me right now because she has to go run a couple errands. Our dryer broke in our house, so she has to go to the laundromat and dry her clothes, and I'm refusing to go with her. So, yeah, I have to get a new dryer really quick now because, yeah, I can't take this. I don't like this. I don't like I came back down here to get away from this crap. And like it followed me. Now, and this ain't the first time. Yeah, I mean, y'all went through the Stopocalypse. I left right in time, so.
Yeah, but unfortunately, after the Bob Uecker news, we do have a little bit of unfortunate kind of late breaking news. The GCW versus the People show yesterday in Hammerstein Ballroom. Unfortunately, Ali Catch has suffered a severe leg break injury in 2 places. This was reported on by Steph DeLander, who is a staple in TNA wrestling in their women's division, but also made a name for herself on the indie scene along with Matt Cardona, the indie god. But yes, this was reported on by her late last night after it was announced. So unfortunately,
sidebar.
A bit of sad, stale news.
I remember when I first saw Alley Cat, and I saw her years later in Texas at a Texas Indie. She's like, "Oh my God, you were there!" I saw her in a little town, Zwolle, Louisiana. They had a little bitty show at the Tamale Festival grounds in Zwolle, the Zwolle Tamale Festival wrestling. And I told her it was another company called RCW. And like, it was a little bitty indie. Like, we sat on hay bales, bro. Like, and I saw her there and I was like, "Hey, you remember that?" She's like, "Oh, you were actually there?" It was like me and like, bro, it was maybe 50 people maybe if we're lucky. But yeah, so I always remember her. She's good. I remember she did a lot to get herself in shape, dude. Like when I saw her at that, she was completely different when I saw her in the Texas Indies. Like she got herself in shape and it looked really good. And she actually thanked me on Twitter because I yelled out at a Inspire show. I was like, "You lost weight, you look good." And she actually clipped that video from the actual event and said, "Thank you, whoever that is, you're an angel." And it was me. You could probably still see it to the day. But yeah, that sucks.
So Steph DeLander has set up a GoFundMe to help with her medical costs. I think she said it's like in the $7,500 range. I guess the goal was like $13K, and the fact that they're like just over halfway there already. Because when you're an indie person and you're out on injury, the whole costs are covered by you.
Make sure the producer, aka your wife, make sure she gets that link, and I'll put it in the description along with.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if anybody listening, look for Steph DeLander, Instagram, Twitter, X, Blue Sky, freaking Smoke Cloud, Telegram, whatever, look out for her. I'm sure she's got the GoFundMe link on her page.
It's not just bad, like that's not just for the surgery, but people don't realize wrestlers, if they don't work, they don't get paid, so their bills don't get paid.
Again, that's the downfall of being strictly an independent wrestler is the costs come straight out of your pocket. You don't get any sort of compensation help from
a bigger organization.
Indie shows, yeah. Now, if you're WWE, AEW, TNA, whatever, then you're gonna get a lot of assistance.
Plus your normal pay too. So. But yeah, that's what's rough.
It was broken in two different spots.
That's at least a year.
Both bones. Yeah. So, and the breaks were, one break was for the outside, and then the other break was on the inside. So, I can't even tell you what the two bones in your shin are. So, tibula, fibula. I could be wrong on that.
I have no idea, but
I don't remember. I don't remember what all the bones.
That's a long recovery. That's at least a year, at least,
and possibly surgery as well too.
So our thoughts and prayers go to her. That's her livelihood, and she's not going to be able to do it now. So please, you guys, we'll put the GoFundMe in the description of this video. Please, if you guys have a few dollars to toss her way, she's a good person, good athlete. I've met her on numerous occasions. If really, you guys,
definitely humble and just loves having a good time and just loves wrestling.
even if you can, I know she has a merch shop somewhere. If you can, go buy a shirt or something, help her out. But yeah, that's stale news, bro. I'd never like to hear when wrestlers, especially on the indies, they end up getting injured, and it sucks. But it happens, and it's an unfortunate part of that business. These people, they put their well-being on the line for us, for our entertainment. So we got to be there for them, when they're not doing, when they have a situation such as this one. So, all right. So you want to move on to other news?
Yes. Let's get into the thick of everything. What do we got first on the docket for round 29? Can't believe we're almost at 30, man.
Yeah, that's pretty fresh, bro. So Scott D'Amore popped up once again, but this time in the world of AEW. He was seen back, because I know we reported a couple months back that he was seen at the WWE Performance Center, but now apparently he was seen at AEW Dynamite. What do you know about this?
Yeah, so not really much is known on this. This is just something that PW Insider reported on, was that Scott D'Amore was seen backstage at Dynamite this past week. So could it be visiting friends? Could it be recruiting talent? Maybe, again, a partnership deal? I mean, at his very first inaugural indie wrestling event, he did have Konosuke Takeshita there. So, I mean, could it have been to potentially work out additional collaborations? Is it just to hang out? Could he be getting an actual critical role backstage AEW?
Okay, so I think like when he was seen at WWE, it's safe to say, because we haven't heard nothing since, he was probably just, visiting friends. You know what I'm saying? With this one, he has wrestlers that he uses from AEW on his Maple Leaf wrestling shows.
Well,
but
same with WWE/TNA,
Well, TNA, but this is before the deal.
The TNA aspect.
This is before the deal, though.
The deal, which we will be discussing
later, yeah,
in a little bit later down.
But I think it's maybe I could be wrong. Maybe he went there to maybe see if there's interest. I don't know. But this one, I am hoping and praying that he can get a big role and he can help maybe with the booking. Because they're doing better, but I think he would get them. You know what I'm saying? Like he could really. This man knows how to book some wrestling.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, yeah, like you said, I will agree with you. Yeah, TNA, or not TNA, but AEW has gotten better with their booking, and definitely helping having the right people in place. And if they were to work out a deal where Scott D'Amore could run his Maple Leaf Pro there in Canada, as well as partake in a booking role with AEW Creative,
yeah. That would.
I've got a feeling that will definitely skyrocket AEW's viewership.
Yeah, so let's just have our fingers crossed. Hopefully that happens. I think the man deserves a spot on one of the big shows, in my opinion. I think he's,
it was AEW and TNA, their collaboration, and having AEW stars in TNA stars in AEW helped both companies tremendously. Obviously this was during the height of the pandemic and everything like that, but it still raised viewership numbers for both companies. So,
but man,
all we could do is hope that if they could get another collaboration going on, this is gonna hopefully skyrocket AEW's viewership back up again.
But, and I know this is probably not a thing, but wouldn't it be poetic justice after this deal if WWE would hire him and put him, as one of the, like after TNA let him go. Yeah, after TNA let him go, they make the deal. Then they're like, oh yeah, hey, y'all new boss, Scott D'Amore. Wouldn't that just be poetic justice? But I think he is more needed and can do a lot more in AEW. So I think that would be a great place for him to land. As well, he's doing this thing with Maple Leaf Wrestling, so I don't want to see nothing taken away from that, but I think it would be great to, have him right there with Mr. Tony Khan, going over the booking and stuff. The man knows how to do it, plenty of experience, been in the business, knows how to work himself. So, yeah, I like it. Hopefully it happens. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we hear more on this at some point. Now, do you want to move on? Or you got anything else to say about this one? Or
No, let's keep it going, man. We're on the roll, man. Let's keep it hot.
all right, some quite possibly some bad news slash scandalous kind of. Okay, so Corey Graves, as we all know, since the transition over to Netflix, he has not been at that announcer's desk on Raw or SmackDown. Apparently, he got, and I don't view it that way, but I could understand how he views it as a demotion. He got back to the announcing, at NXT. But he still hasn't been seen in NXT. Some thought that it would be like they brought him back down to NXT because maybe he was cleared to once again get in the ring. But apparently,
he is cleared.
He is
cleared.
He is. Okay. Good. Thank you for that correction. But since this happened, he was seen leaving the NXT, where the NXT area was, at the airport, and he did not look happy. And this statement was released by him on X. Imagine chasing your dream, then being told, not deciding that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. Then dedicate your life into something dream adjacent and being pretty awesome at it. And then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being told you're not famous enough for your own job. Just in case you wondered where I've been. I think that's in reference, not taking a slight at him. I think that's in reference to Pat McAfee.
Yeah, there was a lot of, especially now that Pat is back.
I think he's full-time now.
He's back to being full-time. Again, this is something happens every year. I mean, they shake up the announce team to give fresh voices on each program. So I get where Corey Graves is coming from. I get where WWE's was like, hey, we just want to change, shake things up a little bit, just switch some people around. You got to look at it like the Stone Cold situation. Stone Cold, height WWE, top guy. All of a sudden it's told, hey, we're going to drop you down and have you work with Scott Hall, with Brock Lesnar, all these guys. When, I see it like that, like, what the hell? Like, here I am, should be battling these top guys because I myself am a top guy.
I see what you're saying.
But then you're dropping me down to the bottom of the card to work with, an old, no longer can actually run a match wrestler in Scott Hall, because obviously, his use of drugs and alcohol, not a mystery to his in-ring career. And Brock Lesnar, who is an up-and-comer, So I get that, but then also at the same time, you got to think about it in the Shayna Baszler. She's like, look, I come into work, I do whatever they tell me, and I go out and kill it, So
I don't think it would have been such a bad thing. I mean, he would have been usually, I know they're taking it on the road a lot more, but he would have been in one place. It was a pretty sweet deal. Unless, I don't know the money. We don't know the money. Unless they decrease his pay, but which I don't think they would do that. But I would be so happy just to have a job like that in the World Wrestling Entertainment. So I'd be like, hey, if you want me to call matches on NXT, which NXT has been great for a long time now, I'd be like, I'm there.
So I also kind of take it as this is kind of like Joey Styles' shoot promo 2.0 from what was it, 2005, 2006, when the Spirit Squad was running Monday Night Raw for a little bit, and everybody was making fun of Joey and everything like that, and he got into that kind of a physical altercation with King at the announcer's desk. Do you remember that?
I don't remember. I do hear about him and JBL, and he actually got the better end of that.
Well, no, it was him and King. It was on an episode of Monday Night Raw. King was goofing around, being his usual self or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Styles like, look, I just want to do my job. Let's do it. No, come on. King just kept pushing him. Finally, Joey Styles he slapped him, and then he got pie faced. Joey Styles got pie faced, and then stormed off from the announcer's desk to the back, and then came out and gave one of the best shoot promos.
I don't remember. I kind of remember, but I don't. I need to.
Dude,
I'm definitely gonna have to get on
up.
YouTube after this.
But he's like, look. He's like, WWE called me. I didn't call them. They called me, and wanted me to come in to fill the role of JR, who they just humiliated and fired. So I came in. I did my job. He's like, then I got pulled from WrestleMania. He's like, I get that, you know. Or he's like, what is it? I'm being told I'm not JR enough. You know, you need to be more like JR. Like, you fired JR because
he's not here anymore. You know? He's no longer here, and it's your fault.
Exactly. And so he's like, I could understand not being, you know, you not feeling that I'm ready enough for a main, you know, announcer, play-by-play, color commentator, whatever for WrestleMania. He's like, but then I get pulled from a low-budget pay-per-view like Backlash. Then you're gonna say I'm not big enough for that? Come on, you know. So I could kind of see where Corey Graves is coming from that, and that comparison with Joey Styles and with Stone Cold. But
I mean, we don't know all the information.
Exactly, we don't.
So
I'm just trying to relate it so that way people can kind of understand where Corey's coming from, but also where, you know, it's like, show up, do your job. Granted, it would probably be a crappy portion of the job, but yes, it is a job nonetheless. You're still going to be on TV, you know. You're probably not going to take a cut in pay just because they move you down to an essential developmental brand in NXT, because my opinion, that's exactly what NXT is. It's their televised developmental.
It's kind of its own thing now too, but it's still basically the developmental. It pretty much is. That's
well, I mean, that's what NXT was when it first started. You know,
it was a game show actually, but I was just playing.
Well, no. It kind of was. It was like Survivor Series, or not Survivor Series, Survivor itself. You know.
Yeah, I remember. What's his name? I'm the one man band. One man band?
Heath Slater.
Yeah, running with a keg, like as one of the challenges. But back in the day, it was FCW was development territory, and
OVW, yeah.
and Deep South, and Deep South Wrestling was too. But now that's all NXT. But I digress. Yeah, it sucks, and we don't know how he's feeling. I mean, this is a glimpse into it, but we don't know what went on. We don't know what he was told. So hopefully they can find a resolution. Because I like a lot of people. Some people don't like his commentary. I enjoy his commentary. I think he does a good job.
Oh yeah, no, definitely does. In fact, Jonathan Coach, the coach, man, he actually posted a response to Corey Graves in what he posted. And this was posted on X. Let's see if I could. Sorry, our phone's not working right here. So Corey is upset for being bumped from the main announce roster. Happened to JR 5 times. Happened to Michael Cole multiple times. Happened to me multiple times. He is right. He is really good at his job, but playing in the sandbox a little bit better might not hurt next time. Embrace whatever role you have and understand that you are lucky to have it. There are only 3 to 5 of these jobs at the highest level. Who knows? Maybe they asked him to be a part of a 3-man booth. We know he doesn't like that. LOL. Sorry, had to. Last line, a joke. The rest, it's the wrestling business. It happens.
That had to cut deep, bro. That is a hellified tweet or statement or whatever you want to call it. I gotta agree with the guy, bro. Like,
yeah, no, I feel you. And what's funny is, apparently it was Wade Barrett that was going to be coming over from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw, not Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee, I think, is headed to SmackDown.
So yeah, I mean, maybe that's it. We don't. This is internal business stuff, man. You know, stuff that we're not privy to. We don't have sources in the WWE or in the wrestling promotions like others do. So we'll just have to see what the outcomes is. But if I were him, I'd be behind that desk on the next NXT taping. That's just me, though. He's not me, and I'm not him. So
Yeah, a rumor was it was only going to be for a few months before they brought him back up. But again, this is all hearsay, rumors, whatever. We report on the information that we get from other sources.
So I mean, and there is times where a guy is so good at their job that their head gets kind of big and they think they're better than the actual job. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That does happen. So hopefully that's not the case here, but we'll just have to see. All right, so moving on. So we had an update with Mr. Odyssey Jones. I haven't looked into this very much. I did see that he was going to do like a tell-all and release, say what all happened, and he is taking bookings again. But you know a little more in detail. So what's the deal?
Yeah, so this comes from Brandon Thurston at WrestleNomics. Odyssey Jones was granted a restraining order against his ex-partner due to constant harassment, and apparently there was a physical altercation on a cruise from back in May 2024, stemming from his ex-partner. So apparently everything that he was going through was all the claims against him being, domestic violence or whatever it was actually the fault of his ex-partner. So he is been cleared of all charges and granted a restraining order from his ex-partner, and as you said, is now taking bookings and gonna be doing a tell-all as to what actually happened.
And that goes, if it really is not his fault, because it does happen like that sometimes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people automatically think it's the guy or the girl that spoke first. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
He did, he had nothing but praise to say for WWE for being able to give him the opportunity to perform. So, and
that's good.
He had no ill will against WWE. He's like, I understand what they were doing, understand with other issues that have happened with this company of actual DV, and unfortunately the wrestler accused was the wrestler at fault, so I completely understand.
But that doesn't stop it from sucking for the wrestler that they lost their opportunity of a lifetime because of some bullshit. Mm-hmm. And that is a crying shame. I would still be upset, not necessarily at WWE, but at the person if it wasn't his fault. Like, look what you cost me, bro. Mm-hmm. I mean, it sucks. And I hope, if it's not his fault, I do hope he finds a spot somewhere and he gets comfortable and he gets somewhere and he thrives. If, assuming that he was not at fault. We'll have to hear and wait and see. But yeah, it's happened like that before, where somebody calls somebody else over false accusations or, accusations that were spun incorrectly. Unfortunately, that happens, and it does suck, especially for the person that's the victim of it. But I hope the guy's talented. He's a big old boy that can move. So I know plenty of people would be happy to have him on their roster. So hopefully that's the case. And I hope he tells everything, bro. Because even though he was clear from the charges, some people will still be kind of hesitant to work with him. And
it's funny though, because some companies are hesitant to work with others who are the actual victims of it, but yet those same companies will work with people who are credibly accused of it.
Yeah, that is weird. I mean, that's what everything. Some people have a little more pull than others, and that's an unfortunate.
It sucks.
That's an unfortunate reality of this world we live in, But yeah, that's the truth. I could have I can tell you a story right now. When I was an officer, my phone, I forgot my phone in my pocket in roll call. And I went up to the bosses, the majors, and told them about it. Right? They wrote me up killing every chance I had to work with the feds. All right. 1 month later, a female, and I'm not saying this is a female, her phone goes off in roll call, didn't go and actually tell on herself. The same exact bosses were like, oh, it's okay, honey, just go put it back in your car. It's an unfortunate freaking reality, bro, that shit like that happens. It's the world's not fair, and it sucks, you know. But, you know, I just hope the right resolution happens for this situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, we don't know everything yet, so. And I mean, I kind of feel bad because how I looked at it, I was like, if the WWE let him go, he did something, and now we're finding out that may not be the truth. You know, and I apologize for that. I should not have been so quick to judge. You know. All right, so let's get off of this scandalous, touchy subject stuff, and let's get on to some good news. You know, depending on who you are, I think this is good. WWE and TNA have officially inked a deal, multi-year partnership. We all knew this was coming, just like you said. We all knew, but now it's official. So, what do you think?
Yeah, this, like I said, it's official. Like I said, but I mean, it was you could have essentially said it was official as soon as WWE and TNA were both underneath TKO Holdings. I mean, you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, even before that, when, what was it, 19 Royal Rumble year, 2018, 2019, when they, like, oh crap, we released too many female wrestlers, we need to scramble and get some people.
Mickey James pops up.
Mickey James, and and so that you could kind of see was the icebreaker that something was bound to happen. And then when TNA and Anthem were now underneath the TKO Holdings group, it was just going to be a matter of time. Sure enough, boom, you had TNA stars show up in Rumbles on NXT. You had Joe Hendry showing up on NXT. You had NXT wrestlers showing up to TNA. So
I love it. I love it. I think we need to rip all these freaking hidden doors off the freaking hinges. That's just my opinion.
Hidden doors off the hinges? You mean the forbidden doors?
Forbidden doors off the hinges. Sorry, I want them all ripped down, kicked in.
Sidebar. We are getting NXT Tag Team Championship match in San Antonio on TNA. So the NXT Tag Team Championships will be defended against the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz.
Former Nash Carter. But I love those dudes. I love the Rascals. That's one of my favorite tag teams, dude. It's so good to see them. And then after the crap that happened with Nash Carter, Zachary Wentz, you know, it's good to see him, you know, doing some stuff with the WWE. We all make mistakes, you know, and it's good to see him doing some work. And that storyline they had with their third partner, the third member of the Rascals, that was what's his name? I forgot his name. I apologize. The storyline they had, that was golden. That was some good stuff. You know how, oh, you betrayed us, you left us, you weren't there for it. It had a little bit of reality to it, and that's when it's real good. And you know, when there's a little realism in there, you know.
And I think that's why I love Kevin Owens so much, is because he adds that little bit of reality to his promos and work like that, especially when he was working against John Cena. Yeah,
and even the stuff he's doing with Cody now, you know, good stuff, man. But yeah, so this I can only see positives from this. Do you think it's only going to be NXT, you know, playing ball, or do we actually are going to maybe see some TNA wrestlers on the main shows?
TNA wrestlers will be on the main shows. And WWE wrestlers will be on TNA. You know, main rosters will be on TNA.
So that one thought, you know, how they were like, "Hey, John Cena, you never been in a TNA ring. Here's Joe Hendry. That's something
And
you never did.
they are WWE is supposed to is in San Antonio on Saturday, and for Saturday night's main event, John Cena is slated to be there. TNA's in San Antonio the 23rd and 24th. We could be getting Joe Hendry in the ring versus someone. You know, you can't see him, so
Yeah.
he'll be in the ring with someone.
Maybe he'll speak his name. We don't know. All right. Next up, we got some probably, I don't know if this is stale news or not, but Malachi Black is apparently no longer with AEW. So
Now, there's not a whole. Again, this is something that there's not a whole
lot of info
on. He may be winding down. He may be, I know his contract's probably going to be coming up to an end here sometime soon. As of now, he is not out of AEW, so get that garbage out of your mouth, Dropkick. He did work an indie show.
You just scared to see him go to WWE. That's all you saying. Worried about.
I mean, okay, how many times have you seen Charlotte Flair's husband? I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, I know, but that's a whole different thing. You're talking about Andrade, but
yeah, Andrade. Yeah, how many? Okay, how often have you seen?
And I laugh about that guy. Oh, don't get me started on him. He moaned and complained in WWE, gets to AEW, same thing happens. Moaned and complained, goes back to WWE. I hear he's moaning and complaining again. There's must be some reasons with that guy. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not
it's possible, but anyways, needless to say, both companies have a bloated roster that they need to try to figure out how to get everybody some TV time. That's just the fact of the matter. Now there is speculation that Andrade, or not Andrade, but Aleister Black, Malachi Black, however you want to refer to him as, he could be taking some time off from wrestling. You know, he may be getting burned out because that was the story. What was going to happen
when he tried to quit before?
Well, that's what I'm saying is that he was just burnt out, and then he ended up re-signing to AEW. You know, so he could just be going about the same thing, just kind of like, hey, I just kind of need to take a break for whatever reason, whatever. And then if he shows up in WWE, cool. TNA, cool. Back to AEW, cool. You know, whatever. So
wherever you can eat, bro.
So there's no clear speculation, but they are thinking that he, you know, his time is winding down there in AEW. Also given by the Will Ospreay promo to Buddy Matthews last week as well too, saying you don't need to follow, you don't need a leader, you know, to follow, you don't need Malachi Black, whatever, yada yada yada. And then apparently the name Hellhounds or Horror Hound, something like that, has been trademarked with Buddy Matthews, Brody King, and Julia Hart. So you can kind of see it that Malachi Black, you know, will be done with AEW here sometime soon. But again, just gotta wait and see what happens.
So I just hope he makes the right decision. I hope he lands somewhere good. And hey, I wouldn't mind seeing him on some indies, man. I think that would be great. Preferably Texas indies. But yeah, so I hope we'll hear more soon. Now, next up,
you just hoping that if he does Texas indies, that he brings his very, very attractive wife with him.
I won't say he shouldn't. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But I do want to see the guy do some cool indies.
Yeah, no, he is a great performer, and nothing but respect for the both of them.
All right, next up. So I was gonna go one place, but I'm gonna go straight into the debut we were all waiting for, that we all knew, worst kept secret in pro wrestling for a while there. Penta now graces the WWE ring. Oh, that was so good, dude. That was so good, bro. And it's somebody that's half Latino like me, it's good to see a Latino
here.
performer actually, you know what I'm saying, get the respect. And I loved how they kept cutting to his daughter. You know what I'm saying? And like some people thought that was stupid because no, he should be a Mystique. He should be, come in and wreck shop. Looking at you, PJ. But I'm like, I disagree. I think that was a good feel good moment for all that he's went through growing up in probably the worst neighborhood in Mexico, one of the worst, deadliest neighborhoods, to wrestling in the Indies in Mexico. Where you know how they give you a hot dog and a handshake? They have a term for it. That's our term here in the United States, hot dog and a handshake. Over there, you get a soda and a plate of food. That's what you get in Mexico. And he wrestled like that for years. And seeing him go through AEW, being the best tag team in AEW, one of the best, having some storied, good rivalry matches with the Young Bucks, tearing it up in that cage match, and then just going like nothing, like not getting pushed, popping up every now and then. Nobody's even thinking about you.
I mean, don't forget, he was also Trios champions as well, too.
Yeah.
Death Triangle. He had great killer singles matches as well, too. Tag team, obviously. And
just kind of went away.
I wouldn't necessarily kind of went away, but
not where he should have been.
Obviously, something was going on that we're, not going to be privy to knowing at all.
And to see him go from all that Lucha Underground, all that, some of the best wrestling at the time on TV was Lucha Underground. Some of the most amazing matches ever was on Lucha Underground.
Mm-hmm.
From all that to making his debut, seeing his family getting emotional on the side there, I think it was a feel-good moment that he earned and he deserved. And the promo he cut after was great. How, it's the Penta era now. I just hope WWE, because we've seen this happen with a lot of Latino performers, not like, the Rey Mysterios and stuff. They come in hot as hell, then it just tends to die down. I want to see this guy doing some, main event stuff. Build up slowly though, Intercontinental built up slowly. Maybe once his brother gets there, because we know his brother's going to end up there. It's safe to say that. The Lucha Bros but I want to see him have a good singles run,
Yeah, no.
Enough of me yapping. I'm sorry. You go ahead.
I could kind of get, and I'm assuming PJ was the one that was saying, "Oh, he should have came in, wrecked shop, and
not said nothing." Not said nothing. His family not being shown, no emotion. He's just a killer, a lucha killer. I understand that mode of thinking.
I could see where PJ's coming from. I could kind of agree with him on how Penta should have definitely had more offense against Chad Gable than Chad Gable had over Penta. I mean, obviously Penta was going to get the win. That was kind of a given, but I felt I'm going to have to agree with PJ on this, and say I think they should have had Penta just come in, just hit just move after move, kind of had Chad Gable kind of like that appalled, oh my God, what did I get myself into? And he just can't come back off of that. But I wouldn't say that he didn't deserve to have any offense at all, because some offense is definitely needed.
Well, no, they obviously want to strengthen Chad Gable as one of their top tier heels. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep him strong. And I think because a lot of people are not just saying good job to Penta, they're saying great job to, they
Chad
put him
Gable,
in
no.
He deserved it.
I agree with that. But also at the same time, it's that type of work where even though you're on the defense more of the match, you're still able to go over yourself and still be seen as a top level performer,
I guess, yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not sure. I thought the match was great. I do see y'all mode of thinking, and I understand it. But I always had a lot of admiration for Chad Gable. I don't think they should have definitely not allowed Penta to just squash him.
Yeah, no. I'm not. Yeah, no. I'm saying, definitely not a squash match, but Penta being more on the
The aggressor.
offensive than he was
Yeah.
on the defensive.
Okay,
You
I get what
know,
you're saying. Him being more of the aggressor in the match.
since he's coming in, he's got
Red hot.
something to show, prove. He's coming in red hot, and he's just working over Chad Gable. Like I work over a California burrito.
Or me with some cracklings. But and booty. But yeah, I do see that motive. I get it. But I thought the entrance was great, but he almost jobbed out to his jacket. I don't know if you saw that. That was a little rough. A little bit. But he got it. He got it.
But I do recognize the importance of him cutting that promo and also showing the shot of his daughter as well too. I get that. I totally get that, and I agree with that. But I'm gonna have to, agree with PJ and the whole. He should have had more offense than been on the defensive.
Maybe
But
so.
still being on the defensive as well too. Just like a little bit of defense, but mostly offense.
I could say, yeah, that is. And like another thing I didn't like, and this is a critique, I wish Chad would have let him do the Zato, Miedo, and then push his head like he does to all. He didn't let him finish that. I wanted to see that on WWE TV. That when he gets in there, Zato, Miedo, right in their face and just pushes it. I thought, no, Chad Gable beat him to it. Chad Gable beat him to it and shoved him first. I was like, damn, let him get that in. Come on. But yeah, another thing I heard, and I thought it was good at first. I do wish his music was a little better. It was kind of some generic rock and roll, and I do wish I wanted to go back to the old like Lucha Underground entrance music. I thought that was perfect for him. But
was that an intro produced by Def Rebel?
I don't know. I thought they were gone, so I don't know. I mean, it was cool. The whole had opened up with Zeno, like with the crowd and everything. I thought that was cool, but I don't know. It was just so, to me, it was just a little bit of bland rock music. You know what I mean? I thought it could have been better. That's just my opinion. But yeah, so I love to see it. Penta, I want to see what happens next. I hope they keep him strong. I'm not saying he should have a match with Roman Reigns tomorrow or anything like that. Not. But I want to see, keep strong, some good matches with him, good character development, a couple more promos every now and then. We don't need him to talk a lot, but, just some good stuff. But yeah, closing thoughts. What do you think?
Looking forward to see what they come up with them for. So
yeah,
just gonna have to wait and see how this all gets played out.
But we can all say one thing for sure: keep him away from the LWO. I better not see him wearing no LWO shirt. I better not see that. No, I don't even want him speaking to him. And I love the LWO. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want him stuck in there. You know what I'm saying? So I think we could all agree on that. But yeah, so moving on. All right, so let's see what else we got here on our docket. So moving along, we'll get to the event happening in Dallas. That'll be our last thing. So speaking of the partnership with TNA and WWE, it was also, I think as of last night or this morning, it broke that Jordynne Grace wrestled her last match against Tessa Blanchard at this weekend's pay-per-view, and it's also being reported that Alexander is Josh Alexander. I was like, wait,
not to re-sign with TNA Wrestling.
Yeah, and wants to try other things.
Yeah, he wants to try other opportunities. Jordynne Grace, there's a lot of speculation that she is going to be signed to WWE.
That's almost a lot, dude.
More than likely it's a lock, but yes, her last official match as a TNA superstar was at the TNA Genesis pay-per-view against Tessa Blanchard, and I'm not gonna lie, there was a phrase chanted at Tessa Blanchard from the crowd. And if anybody knows anything about the controversy surrounding Tessa Blanchard, the phrase was, "She is a racist," over and over and over and over again.
So
Um,
it is what it is.
yeah, and this was a very, you could kind of say, TNA controversial re-signing of Tessa Blanchard, or if she even is re-signed to TNA Wrestling, but she is wrestling in a TNA ring.
And it just sucks because the
Yeah,
girl
there
is so
is-
good, and she's so tainted, but she's so good. I've
Yes,
seen her matches in the
taintedness.
indies and amazing. She
There
was the
has
next
been
big
a lot
thing.
Yes, there has been a lot of backstage rumors to anybody unfamiliar that Tessa Blanchard was kind of a lightweight racist and said some pretty derogatory things. And I believe you had mentioned that there was a certain WWE superstar who had made these same allegations as well too. Did you want to?
Yeah, Chelsea
mention who
Green.
that
She
was?
came out and spoke out. There wasn't just that, but why she was on her way after the Mae Young Classic to being signed with WWE. She was well on her way, but she ended up having at the Performance Center a huge fight, altercation with why do I always do this? With Ricochet, because they used to be together, Ricochet and Tessa Blanchard on the indies. Well, after Ricochet,
Was that before or after she was with Daga?
before, and she pretty much got with Daga a couple months later after they broke up. But I remember because she was also at Wrestle Circus, and I remember her crying, she had a crying thing about it in the ring. And I don't know if it was for that, but it happened at the same time, and it was that day it broke that he broke up with her. And apparently, when she worked her way into the WWE, Ricochet was already there, but he was dating another girl on the NXT roster. And apparently,
Kelly, because I know, or no, he was with
the girl she was from Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, Casey Catanzaro.
He was dating her at the time. And apparently, a big fight took place, an altercation. And it was bad enough for WWE to halt her and be like, nope, we don't want you now. So I don't know. But yeah, then Chelsea Green also, every chance she gets, speaks out on her. So it doesn't look good. And it sucks that she's that tainted because she comes from a good lineage. And she's actually really talented, really good. She is she could have great matches with men and everything. I've seen it. And she was poised to be.
It was that Wrestle Circus show that you and we were
Brian
sitting
Cage.
next to each other. Was it Brian Cage or
I know
it was someone else.
One time it was Brian Cage, and then it was the other guy from OI4K.
I think it was that one that I was there with you or sitting next to you for, because it was the one that had Lance Archer, Teddy Hart, Private Party, and
I think Daga was there
Cassidy as well. Yeah, Daga was there on that card as well.
Yeah, I don't remember all who, but I could probably look it up. But I've seen her, Brian Cage, go to powerbomb her off the top rope, and she reverses it into a Hurricane Rana. Great work from her. And it just sucks, and her father is such a respected person in the business, so.
Yes, and if you don't know who that is Tully Blanchard, member of the original Four Horsemen, correct?
Yep, exactly. And nobody ever says anything bad about him. They say he's a good man. So, and I'll be the first to say, people do stupid shit. And if somebody could make up for it and somebody could turn their life around and actually become better and learn from their mistakes, I don't see the problem in them getting a second chance. And hopefully that happens here, but we don't know everything that happened. There may be some stuff that's bad enough that we don't know, that it's okay, screw this girl, but we don't know. So I just hope TNA knows what they're doing. I hope, we'll just see.
Yeah.
You know?
And if she were to go, and try to make amends, hopefully she doesn't do it the Hulk Hogan way with a camera crew strictly for show and tell, but
Yeah.
still has those same feelings.
Yeah. And, I hope, because people can grow, people can learn, people can, and I think that people do deserve a second chance. But we'll just see how that goes. But now this thing with Joshua Alexander, I know he's no longer signed with TNA.
He chose not to. He chose not to re-sign with TNA. He wants to see what other options are out there for him. And I believe it's just not these two who aren't, but I've heard that it's also a quite number. Like Rhino, I believe is not re-signing. And I know there are a few more, and word was it, and I believe it was through Ringside, Fightful Select, Figure 4 Wrestling Online, something like that. We're saying that the reason why some aren't re-signing with TNA is because TNA is going to start doing some cuts.
So that could be, and I know Josh Alexander, he's been working very regularly with Maple Leaf Pro. So he's been working with Scott D'Amore a lot. He's a Scott D'Amore guy. We all know that. Could he turn up in WWE? We don't know. I would like to see it, or AEW, but I would like to see him and maybe Ethan Page bring back the North. You know what I'm saying? But we'll just have to see. I mean, he's a great on the indies. I know people love him on the indies, so I think he'll be fine. And then, like I said, he's been working on a regular basis with Maple Leaf Pro, so that's pretty good. So, but yeah. Jordan Grace, we're gonna see her. She's gonna be in that Women's Royal Rumble again this year. We're gonna see her.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure.
She will be there. Yeah. Speaking of which, this is something that I had mentioned that we didn't get a chance to talk about on our last round. But the fact that Hulk Hogan was mocked on the Pat McAfee show for the booze and everything like that, which
that was a big part of it too.
Couldn't tell if it was Pat who dressed up as Hulk Hogan or if it was one of the crew guys who dressed up as Hulk Hogan. But they made a mockery out of Hulk Hogan on the Pat McAfee show the day after that Monday Night Raw, where he just got mercilessly booed
out of the building. Whoa! But well,
again, act like a crap person, get treated like a crap person. So
time for you to disappear and go do your thing. Go sell your little beer and just be quiet. Enjoy your time on the beach, because the business has left you now. You have not left the business. The business has left you.
Yeah. So, you know who I haven't seen in a while? Dropkick.
I know who you're about to bring up. Good old DMD
Dr.
Britt Baker.
DMD has been unseen from AEW Wrestling, and there is definitely a lot of controversy surrounding.
So the last time we saw her,
the doctor.
So last time we saw her, it was when she had that altercation with Serena Deep, and apparently what Serena told her was like, "Nobody cares. We don't care." Apparently, there was a lot that may have been some truth in that statement, like blur the line, truth. Now, this was broke by the Pro Wrestling Torch, that their sources say in AEW that she is basically was hard to work with. She pissed off a lot of people.
Is essentially becoming persona non grata, to where Tony, accordingly, supposedly, allegedly, that Tony is just fed up with her and her recent antics.
Man, pretty much.
We both know she is no stranger to controversy. Her issues that she's had with Thunder Rosa,
MJF,
that can kind of be a little kind of on the racist side with the issues that they had, depending on how you want to look at it. Yes, obviously the issues with Alicia Tout, who was currently
MJF's girlfriend, gonna talk smack about her boyfriend in front of her, where she could hear and expect her not to go and tell her boyfriend what you think was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. So, and then the issue with Mercedes Moné, and yeah, so
Apparently, a lot of people in that locker room are not fans of her and how she acts. Apparently, she is a mean girl. Now, take this with a grain of salt. We're not saying this stuff is for sure, but this is just people
Yeah,
apparently
and
from sources.
yeah,
Apparently, she
there
was
is.
told to go home. It's one of those situations, like, she's not released, but apparently, it's one of those situations like, go home and we'll
She's
call
just
you.
not. Yeah, she's not being called into work. Which again, there's still a lot of confusion surrounding this. All we know and all we're able to report on is just that she hasn't been seen on AEW TV for a while, uh, and we don't really know what's going on other than
For all we
rumors and
know,
speculation.
yeah, for all we know, we can tune in this Wednesday and she'll be the first person on there. So we don't know. This is just hearsay from, it was broke by the Pro Wrestling Torch, and they do have sources within AEW. So I don't know. So, but this ain't the first time we've heard that she conducts herself like a high school mean girl. So we'll just have to see. And I mean, then I always wondered about Adam Cole, baby. Like, I was like, all of this is being said. I wonder how he feels.
They said that this isn't hindering anything. Like they're still
Yeah,
like everything is.
they're
Still
not
cool.
together
Like,
anymore.
that isn't. No, they're not together anymore. But that just because they're no longer dating each other, that there's,
Any
it's
bad
still
blood?
all copacetic. Yeah, there's no bad blood to where they're still able to be
That's
in the
good.
same vicinity of each other and not have any bad vibes about it.
Well, that's good. At least
Because that's one thing that you got to kind of think about if you are going to date or be in a relationship with a wrestler under the same company that you work for.
a situation could happen like Tessa Blanchard, when she was on her way and pretty much ended her shot at WWE over relationship beef. You never know. That's why a lot of wrestlers, and there's a lot of them that they tend, which it's hard not to, and you've heard me say this before, you're on the road with each other, you're around each other a lot.
You spend more time with them than you do your actual
Family.
wife, husband, whatever.
That's why we hear a lot of stuff happening like this, and like I don't want to say anything, but like wrestlers hooking up even when they have somebody at home they should be hooking up with. That's why it happens. But I mean, not excusing anybody's behavior, but yeah. So, but I'm always been a good of the saying, don't shit where you eat. That I've always followed that rule. So more people should definitely look into that. But all right, get off of Britt Baker. Still news. Next up, some fresh news. All right, what you got for JCW in Dallas, man?
Yeah, so obviously GCW has been announcing a lot of dates lately for upcoming shows, and the week of All In Dallas, Texas for AEW on July 11th, there actually is going to be a GCW show in Dallas. So for anybody attending AEW All In Texas, get there, spend time early, go to, I think, one of the best indie organizations out there, definitely making some waves.
They're in top 5 for sure.
They are definitely creeping up there to be one of the top ones. GCW and Dallas, the week of All In is already going to be crazy as it is anyway. I mean, more than likely you're going to have Dynamite in there, probably. Obviously ROH. I believe I saw, if I remember correctly, one of the VIP packages for All In came with a ROH ticket for the night before. So ROH is going to have a show in Dallas somewhere, Arlington, wherever, Fort Worth. Who knows where it's going to be at? Obviously, that hasn't fully been announced yet independently, but I'm sure more than likely within the next month or two, it'll be announced where in the area of AEW Texas All In.
It's actually
the ROH show is going to be.
It's such a smart business tactic. It really is. People say, "Oh, they're riding off the coattails of the big promotion." Yeah, that's a good idea. You know where the vans are going to be of wrestling. They're all going to be in one spot. Yeah, you want to be there.
Great way. That's a great way to promote too, because you know that week is going to be crazy filled with people going to AEW. So
People wanting
yeah,
wrestling around that area, so people buying up shirts, people buying up, tickets, whatever, DVDs. They still do that, DVDs. But yeah, so that's all. I've been to like 3 GCW shows. I want to say,
one.
huh?
I've only been to one.
I've
Me
been to
and the
like
wife have only been to
3.
one.
Well, one of them you can't really count. It was just part. It was Joey Janela Spring Break. I don't know if you could count that. It was in cahoots with GCW.
Yeah, I mean you kind of can. So give it maybe like a 2.5
Yeah,
GCW events.
something like that. So they rented out the whole like during WrestleMania week in New Orleans. They rented out the whole like I think it was the UNO, not the UNO ring. It was like the Sports Center, the New Orleans Riverfront Sports Center. They rented it for the whole week, and they just ran show after show after show there. So, yeah, so good to see wrestling people. We love it. It's here, Texas. If you live in Texas, plenty of wrestling to digest. We are quickly becoming not only the mecca for comedy, but the mecca for good old professional wrestling.
Again, indie shows you got coming up. You got February 2nd, Baracho Pro, Blood, Sweat, and Beers Blood, Sweat, and Beers 2. Oh God, what else? Inspire has a new run coming up. RCW, Dustin Rhodes, Rhodes Wrestling Academy Association, whatever A you want to associate it with. Hot Pro Wrestling there in Waco, Metroplex Wrestling, God, just so many different indie promotions in Texas, and
That's just the ones around us. There's probably more like further down
oh yeah,
south, further up north. That's just the ones we know of
yeah,
around us.
San Antonio, you've got United 210, Dog Pound Championship, River City Wrestling again. You've got a brand new one, AWS. That's gonna start being going on. You got NWA Texas, which is just the Texas branch of NWA wrestling. God, so many different things. Indie wrestling is definitely where it's at. Go have a great time. Your indie shows are definitely some of the best shows you'll ever get to experience, aside from a WWE house show. You know, you're gonna get that all the time.
So yeah, definitely check it out. So people, just thank you for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe, help us body slam that YouTube algorithm.
And thank you to everyone who has subscribed, participated, watched, shared our stuff. We wouldn't be here without you guys. So
give us a like.
Keep it going.
Give us a like on the page, something like that. We will be uploading to other platforms very soon. I am looking at a actual program that will actually upload to multiple platforms at the same time. So I just think you have to pay for it, but I will gladly pay for it. So I will be looking into that. So I thank everybody that joined us. Support indie wrestling, people. That's all I really have. I know today was a little bit longer. Not really. About normal sized episode that we had here. So take us out, big dog.
All I'm going to say is I believe in Joe Hendry.
Always. Wouldn't you be freak out if like behind me or behind you in that dark corner you see him walk out, Joe Hendry? What the hell?
But yes, come if we're in a show in your area, come check us out, come say what's up. Yeah, that's just come up. We're gonna be putting out as much content as we possibly can. Check out past interviews. We'll be doing probably a brief quick upload on the 25th of January. after the in-store signing with Rikishi, Mark Dacascos, and Tia Carrere, possibly with or without me getting a stink face. That may
If you do
be
that,
a surprise.
you're a legend.
May not happen.
You ain't gonna be able to get the smell out of your beard for weeks. But
yes, again, thank you to everybody who's joined us so far on this wild ride, and hopefully 2025 we can make it explode.
yeah, give us a help, people. Let us know if you think we have any ideas. We're always up to listen. So, all right, for SP, I am Dropkick Zombie. Good night, everybody. Yeah.
We two loony guys catching eyes with our hype, talking pro wrestling, making all the fans unite. In the ring we swing like a rhyme making machine with moves so mean, leaving opponents in a dream. You're rocking the mic.